Salutations, everybody. It is Matty here today, and things are beginning to heat up on the front of Xbox's 20th anniversary, which is happening on November 15th. With that, they've announced a brand new event, and we're going to get into that in today's video as the headline. Beyond that, we also need to talk about Fable. A lot of you wanted me to talk about that on Monday's video. I wanted to give it some time to see if Xbox truly screwed up that badly. Newsflash, they did. So we're going to talk about that today and what exactly transpired and what they may have been planning. Does it tie into this event that's been announced today? Beyond that, Xbox is again doubling down on the idea that more studio acquisitions are coming. So we're going to return to that topic because, of course, we are. So if you're new here and you're into Xbox news, we got plenty more on the way. On top of that, a lot of reviews coming out very soon. So keep your eyes peeled for all that stuff. With that, let's begin with the anniversary stream announcement. Posted on a Xbox Wire, we can see that they're celebrating back-to-back Xbox exclusive releases with Age of Empires 4, you got Forza Horizon 5, and Halo Infinite to cap things off. This is their way of seemingly trying to squish that Xbox has no games by showing, look at all the games that we have. But there's two things that were very interesting about this post. Number one is what they wrote about Halo Infinite. They said, the Master Chief returns on December 8th with Halo Infinite. This is the Halo we imagined 20 years ago, finally come to life in the largest Halo game we have ever made. Halo Infinite will be available in Game Pass when it launches across Xbox One, Series consoles, and PC. Game Pass Ultimate members will also receive monthly multiplayer bonuses as part of the Perks program. I just thought this was an interesting tidbit. I know Halo Infinite's very popular on this channel right now because there's a lot of anticipation for it. So just know that if you're like me, you're a Game Pass Ultimate member, you're going to get some type of perk. What that could be is anybody's guess. It could be bonus XP, bonus challenges. I have no clue whatsoever, but time will tell on that. And it seems to be something they're going to do every month after the game launches. More importantly, and what we're all here to discuss, is the anniversary stream announcement. Here are some details on it. We invite you to join us on November 15th to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Xbox and Halo with a fun digital broadcast for fans around the globe. While we won't announce any new games, this anniversary broadcast will be a special look back at 20 years of Xbox. We'll share more details soon, so stay tuned. We've been hard at work to deliver 3 months of back-to-back game launches, and while we hope you enjoy us in celebrating 20 years of Xbox history, know that we're hard at work on the road ahead and what's to come in the next 20 years. So they're doing this special anniversary stream. They've already confirmed no brand new game announcements. This makes sense and I thought was kind of obvious. The reason I say this is because they already have a ton of games announced. And when you think about yesterday's report that we did on what Jez Corden said with the amount of projects that they're working on with third-party partners, there will be plenty of announcements to come. But right now, when they have already games coming out, they don't need to announce more. And I'm happy that they're just going to sit on some because this allows them to pace things out, keep themselves relevant, keep fun things to talk about for all of us as fans. So I'm cool with them not announcing games for the anniversary because you know what? I want to see them celebrate their heritage. And of course, there will be announcements. We already know. You can guarantee with any event Xbox throws, Game Pass games will arrive. I'm just hoping that since they're confirming no new games, this could mean that there are going to be old games. I've said it 3 times now, so I'm not going to go all in on it, but give me those 360 games. Give me those OG Xbox games. Just a couple of new ones to add to the library. There have been rumors flying around about it. This makes the most sense. And when you take a look at some of the art for the Xbox anniversary celebration, throwing it back to the OG Xbox best dashboard I can think of, and then you've got the 360. This is on the official Xbox website. I mean, look at this stuff. They are really calling back to their heritage. Of course, there is a marketing thing to all of this. They are celebrating. So there is me trying to not read too deeply into it. And there's also, I think, clear writing on the wall that something could happen. Now, I don't think they're just going to make a documentary on Xbox's history. I think we can agree that it'd be really boring. And the big reason we're all excited for the anniversary is because of video games. Video games.
By the 13th century, trebuchets had evolved into devastatingly powerful weapons.
So I imagine they have some announcements in store for us. Some people have asked if this is the time to roll in a new studio, especially with news we're going to talk about later in this video. Again, I'm going to double down and say I don't think so. Certainly, I'd like to be wrong because that would be a really fun conversation to have. There are plenty of studios connected to Xbox's history. You know, we've talked about Sega many times in the past with the likes of Jet Set Radio Future and many other games as they're slowly embracing Game Pass and getting close to Xbox again where, hey, saying we have Sega now on the anniversary would actually make some sense, but I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think it's going to synchronize perfectly like that. but I imagine shortly we will see some type of acquisition announcement. But it's strange that we haven't seen one outside of course, the official enrollment of Bethesda this whole year while PlayStation was going around picking up a lot of studios. So time will tell if Xbox will make any protective purchases, but I don't think it'll actually synchronize with their anniversary date. While it is the 20th anniversary of Xbox, we also have to remember it is the 20th anniversary of Halo Combat Evolved. And what better way to celebrate what I think is the best Halo game than, of course, Halo Infinite campaign gameplay. Finally re-revealing it after going quiet since August 2020 outside of fantastic multiplayer flight previews. I think, yes, I would have loved this a lot sooner, a lot sooner, so consumers and myself could feel very confident with this game moving forward. But I guess better late than never. I think the only way to remedy such a late re-reveal of the campaign and showing off its improvements would probably be a preview of some kind, getting this campaign in the hands of press and creators, letting them say also, hey, this is good, or scarily for Xbox, this isn't that great. That's something that I know would probably be an interesting risk for them to take, but I think it would be much more convincing than showing off the campaign when there's less than a month to go at that point in time until the release of Halo Infinite. Still, I would be shocked, absolutely stunned, if we did not see Halo Infinite appear at all during this anniversary with a campaign gameplay re-reveal. So I would say you can probably safely expect that one. Now, we don't know how long this will be going on for, but provided it's like most Xbox events, which sits around like an hour or so, we will be live streaming this, so just keep an eye out on the channel if you want to sit there and watch it alongside me. Would certainly appreciate your presence. It's always fun doing that type of stuff together. With that, let's move into Fable. This one is perplexing. It happened over the weekend. I remember seeing it, having legitimately some extra pep in my step, feeling really good, thinking, oh my gosh, we're going to see some new Fable content. Finally, it's been dormant for so long. Well, the rug got pulled out from under us, and a lot of people wanted my thoughts on it. Like, why did Xbox do this? So let's try to analyze it. It may connect back to our first news story. So over the weekend, Xbox Game Studios Publishing wrote, we're excited to kick off something special tomorrow. Just give us one more day to prepare the chickens, which people went, oh, Fable. And then they said it themselves. We'd call it our Fable anniversary, but that name was already taken. Okay, that's about as straightforward as you can get. Like, hey, we're announcing something about Fable tomorrow, and it's a special one. Wow, didn't see that one coming. And then you start to look around at release dates. You see that October 18th was Fable, the Lost Chapter's North American release date. You see October 21st was Fable 2's release date. You go, okay, seems like the Fable week. What a time to celebrate. Is this a trilogy remaster? Are they optimizing these games for next generation consoles? Are they adding new content? Are we finally going to fix the loading screens in Fable 3? What are we going to do? This is exciting. Well, I don't know what exactly they were doing, but here's their follow-up tweet. Sorry for any confusion. We don't have any big game news tomorrow or any info about Playground Games' upcoming Fable game. Since then, they have deleted the initial 2 tweets I showed you. They're no longer there. Just their follow-up on sorry for any confusion is the only one that's available. Now, I didn't expect anything from Playground Games' Fable. The reason for that is we have Forza Horizon 5 coming out extremely soon. They need to market that. They need to make that the big thing because Forza Horizon 4 is such a dominant Game Pass game. There's a lot of anticipation and excitement and, of course, revenue that will be tied to Forza Horizon 5. So you need to make sure everyone's talking about that Playground game and give Fable a little bit more time because when they start talking about it, create that separation and let Forza Horizon have its legs, or rather wheels. With that said, I think it was fair to expect that they were going to do something with the older Fable games. And then they say they're not announcing any game news the next day. What's really, truly fascinating about this comes from Xbox Game Studios Publishing. This is their third-party arm, if you will. And then you had the original Xbox account responding to said tweet. So it was like a nod of approval, like, yes, big announcements coming. Here is my speculation, and only my speculation, is that I'm thinking Xbox threw together this anniversary stream last minute and thought to themselves, hey, we got enough things to announce or reveal or show off that we can make this a whole event instead of scattering things out like they sort of done. They announced the hardware. Maybe they were going to do something with Fable this week leading into the anniversary where they've seen the expectations of fans rise. Like, hey, we're expecting back compat. We're expecting OG Xbox stuff. We're expecting maybe new updates for long-standing Xbox classics, those types of things. So we're going to save it all for one day. maybe that's why they said, let's pull the plug on Fable for that week, because they said specifically, we don't have any big game news tomorrow or any info about Playground Games' upcoming Fable game. Specifically tomorrow, as in, I feel there was Fable news just based off their friggin' tweets of some kind on the way. So this was just kind of frustrating because it's another in a pretty growing list of Xbox miscommunications, which we talk about on Defining Duke a little bit, because it's getting to the point now where they're getting a little trigger happy because they love to announce things. They love to have events. And I like that because, especially as a content creator, like, it's great. We have something to talk about consistently. And as a daily news channel with discussions and reviews and previews mixed in, yeah, it makes making content a lot easier. I can rest easy knowing stuff's on the way, but that's very self-centered, quite honestly. And beyond that, I would rather them have more quality-based announcements and not get so trigger happy that they do things like this, especially with a franchise like Fable. Fable has been dead for a while. It's amazing that how many people still care about it because of what happened with Fable 3, and then you look at this stupid multiplayer one that they were doing, and then they completely shut down Lionhead. Now you got Playground Games handling it. It was rumored, leaked for so long. Fable fans have been tortured. So I think it's going to be great if on the anniversary stream they say, here are some things we're doing with the OG Fable games, right? I think that would be awesome to see. But yanking their chain a little too much there, you picked the wrong fan base, I'll just say that. I thought it was really disappointing, though, but that is my speculation on what happened here, is they shut this down because they're going to announce stuff at a later event, and I personally never expected anything to occur when it came to Playground Games. Last news story we're going to get into, of course, Phil Spencer talking about game buying spree, according to Wall Street Journal. That's what they're calling it. Quote, "We're always out there looking for people who think they would be a good match and teams that would be a good match with our strategy, so we're definitely not done," end quote. Phil Spencer, Microsoft's executive vice president of gaming, said at the Wall Street Journal's Tech Live conference Monday. Mr. Spencer said that he doesn't have a timeline or a quota for new acquisitions, but that the company is taking a long-term approach to adding teams to its gaming portfolio. We've heard that first quote so many times, it's sad it's not news anymore. I think the last part, though, is a little bit discussion worthy. Is that they're not putting a timetable on it, and that they're trying to take the long-term approach, which means that they're going to nurture, in my eyes, relationships. We're talking about leaked ones like IO Interactive. We're talking about ones that we publicly know already, like with Contraband and Avalanche, where maybe they could absorb them. Again, shout out to Defining Duke, because we were talking to Jeff Grubb there, and we learned that Avalanche has had some trouble with hitting deadlines for Contraband. So maybe Xbox sees that and goes, you know, we don't want to acquire this studio. So they're developing relations, and as I said, based off Jez Corden's reportings from yesterday's video, link down below if you want to check it out, Xbox Game Studios Publishing has a ton of projects on the list right now. Tons are on the way. So Xbox is really experimenting on who works with them, what's a good match, what's a good fit, and I like that. Bethesda was the big absorption, if you will. They probably needed to round out the first-party lineup and say, we got a lot here. But of course, they need to continue to invest to hit that quarterly Game Pass release that they want to hit with their first-party content, by the way. So there's still going to be a lot of investing done, but I like that they're not just outright yanking studios off the market. However, they could say one thing and do another. I have zero doubts in my mind that both PlayStation and Xbox will do, at some point, a surprising protective purchase where, let's say, Xbox is seeing that Sony is sniffing around NetherRealm. Xbox doesn't have any fighting game prowess whatsoever right now. And if you take all the anime fighters that PlayStation already has, and they have Evo now, so they're dominating that scene, and then they go, we're going to take NetherRealm while we're at it, the last standing true AAA fighting studio, I could totally see Xbox coming in and being like, we'll pay double. We'll pay double. We'll take you. You cannot go to PlayStation. We need that. And this could also go on the PlayStation side of things. I have no doubt in my mind that when I looked at something like the timed exclusivity for KOTOR, that I know for a fact Xbox was in on that. But PlayStation, I was told, wanted it more. Again, it's timed exclusivity, so I think Xbox was a little more loosey-goose, if you will, on it and said, all right, whatever, we can let it go. But I could totally foresee protective purchases happening despite what they're saying with long-term approach. But I like long-term approach. I don't want to see all these studios yanked off the market. I don't want to see people experiencing less games, even if that adds a lot of value to Game Pass and it makes the conversation around Xbox more fun. At the end of the day, we're all gamers. I want to see us all have a really good time. And I think the best way we have that is by all of us enjoying our games on whatever platform we're playing on. So while exclusives are necessary for competition, and I totally don't argue against them, and a lot of them are very good. I do think there is something worth thinking about there where a lot of people just want every studio consolidated into like 4 different brands. I've rambled on enough though. That's all the Xbox news for today's video. Certainly an interesting couple of weeks coming up as we learn more about the anniversary stream and what to expect. So keep your eyes peeled right here. We'll have a lot more on the way. With that, let me know your thoughts. What are you expecting at Xbox's anniversary stream? What do you think of the Fable news? And when will Xbox pull the trigger? Fire away in the comments down below. I'm looking forward to your thoughts. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Those links are in the description down below. And a big thank you to all the patrons, all the members who continue to support the hell out of the content here. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.